Volunteers for Community Impact, VCI for short, is one of Orlando's best-kept secrets in the nonprofit community. They've been around for almost 50 years, but very few Central Floridians know about them. But you've most likely heard about some of their programs: foster grandparents, senior companions, and RSVP. You probably know VCI as the organization that recruits and engages active seniors in volunteering. Today we're talking about OTTER, the other program VCI has for volunteers younger than age 55, and how OTTER helps students in local schools. VCI's Executive Director, Hugh Jacobs, is here today to share more information about the OTTER program. And Hugh, thanks again for being here.
Thank you so
yes,
much.
we talk about all the senior level volunteering opportunities, but now we have something, if you're not quite at that perfect age of 55 and older, well, you still want to volunteer. So how does the OTTER program help you out?
Well, we created OTTER based upon an older foster grandparents program that we were doing years ago. And so we were doing OTTER as a component of foster grandparents. That's how we came up with the name. Older teachers teaching early readers. Well, in this new OTTER, they don't really have to be a teacher, and they're not really older. But we still kept the name because we like the name. And so with the OTTER program, it's funded strictly on local community grants. We've got a grant from Orange County government, the Citizens Commission on Children. They've given us the money to run the OTTER program. So we thought, well, we're not beholden to the federal regulations on the AmeriCorps money. Let's do a program for people younger than 55. And we still have all of our seniors volunteer with OTTER, but now we've opened it up so younger folks can volunteer. And the goal of OTTER is to teach early readers or pre-literate children the love of books. You know, there's that old maxim about you learn to read until you're in the 3rd grade, and then from the 4th grade on, you're reading to learn. So we know that getting children to love reading and books early on is the key to their academic success. I'm sure you also know the statistic that a lot of state governments, they look at how many prisons do we need to build based upon 4th grade literacy rates, because they know from that age, if children or students are having a problem in school, they're going to have a problem with the criminal justice system. So we try and address all of those social problems at the very front end by instilling in children a love of books and a love of reading. So an OTTER volunteer is an adult or a high school student who's got the approval of their parents.
Okay, that's what I wondered. Is there a minimum age?
We really prefer people 18 and older. But occasionally we do have 17, 16-year-old high school students who say, hey, I want to do my community service hours as an OTTER volunteer. And so if their parents will sign their permission form, we'll let them volunteer as well. But they go in 1 day a week, and they spend half an hour reading to a classroom of kids, reading to the entire classroom. And it's really young children. We're talking 4-year-olds. So a lot of times, they're not that familiar with books. So you show them a book, and this is the cover, and this is the title of the book, and this is the author's name. And we open a book this way, and we start at the front, and we read through it. And so we read very simple books, very big picture books a lot of times, you know, to 4-year-olds. But we get them instilled with the idea that books are special. They're gateways to magical places where you can learn and imagine and you know, get new concepts, new ideas.
And you're right. I mean, I think it is that early childhood experience. If they have that when they're young enough, and, you know, books are fun and books are interesting, and it can take you to other places, and that's what your volunteers are bringing to them. Is there any kind of charge to the school for
Absolutely
this?
not.
Any fees or something?
Absolutely not. We provide the service to any school, or primarily kindergarten, you know, in VPK, so that we reach the really young children. But we'll provide the service free of charge. It's free to volunteer. So if someone wants to spend 1 day a week, or they can spend more days a week, but if they want to read to children and introduce young children to a love of reading, they need to volunteer with OTTER.
And we know the volunteers get as much out of that experience as the children, because you were sharing some great stories with me that, you know, the kids see their volunteer person coming in.
It's like being
and
a
it's
rock star.
magic.
It's like being a rock star. They clap, they cheer, they shout, they sing songs. It's like they're so happy when the volunteer comes into the classroom that day.
And that makes all the difference in the world. So if you're under 55, that's okay as well.
It is.
Thanks, Hugh. So if you're looking to volunteer by reading to younger students, then be sure to visit vcifl.org.